Hey everyone, pardon the weird background, but that's just because my room at the moment is being a little reorganized, and well, the set is also being a tad reorganized, and it's not done yet. And also, family members happen to be blasting music in the garage below, so yeah, have to make do with this. But anywho, thought today I'd just take the time to actually show off my Apple collection because, I mean, it's been a year since I've done the last one, and oh geez, I've gained a couple new, maybe interesting, maybe not interesting products within that time. So let's actually go over that. So the first thing we're going to start with is, well, the stuff that's small, or maybe not small, but things that are important and not important at the same time. Like, for example, my Apple stickers. I made a lot of sense in that commentary, didn't I? My Apple stickers. I collect Apple stickers. I really like collecting Apple stickers. I don't remember what all of these came from, except these. The black Apple stickers. They came with a purchase that I did quite an unboxing that got quite a few views on it, actually. I'm pretty proud of that video. And then another not so important thing, but kind of rare item is this black Lightning to USB cable. Guys, these things are rare. The only products that these things shipped in were the iMac Pro when it came with its accessories, and then any of the space gray Magic accessories, like the keyboard or the trackpad or the Magic Mouse. Yep, that's a rare cable right there. Other rare items that you might not view of as importance, but they're actually pretty rare at this point. We have the Magic Mouse, the space gray Magic Mouse. I know Apple is selling a new Magic Mouse with the black cover and such, but when you look at the bottom, that new Magic Mouse only has the same silver bottom as the regular silver Magic Mouse. Nope, not this guy. This guy is space gray all around, which means this is an even rarer Magic Mouse. Pretty cool, right? Glad I have that in my collection, and that's where I got the black Lightning cable from, yes. Other things include, like, my AirPods. I love my AirPods Pro. They've been, well, a bit of a challenge every 6 months. So far, they haven't had to be sent back ever since I sent them back last. Who knows? They might end up getting there, and I really hope they don't. Okay, now let's move on to some actual devices. And my first device is, we're going to start off with the iPods. Here is my 7th gen iPod Nano. It is my first Apple device ever. It is in kind of rough shape when you take a look at every single angle of it. I mean, it's got dents and scratches everywhere, but wow. This is my first Apple product. Still works. Headphone jack is dying on it, so thank goodness this thing has Bluetooth if I ever wanted to listen to music from it. Though, unfortunately, I cannot listen to the radio on it. Then the other iPod that, unfortunately, I have to stop using is my iPod Touch 6th gen. This is not the 7th gen. 6th and 7th look practically identical, to be honest, but I had to stop using this because the battery unfortunately swelled. Can't use it anymore. What happens when you turn this thing into a glorified alarm clock? Moving up in scale, and more devices that I still don't actually use I'm going to move on to my iPad. So first of all, we have the very cool and also probably very rare OG iPad. This is the original iPad cellular. Yes, there is a SIM card on here. Popped it out, and yeah, there's actually a SIM card in here, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is the original iPad that I have. Does it work? Nope. It pretty much boot loops whenever I plug it in. That's because the battery seriously needs a replacement. But the other iPad I have that does work, but isn't very useful due to its sheer age, is my iPad 4. Yes, this is the 4. It looks just like the iPad 3, but how can I tell it's the 4th gen? Well, take a look at the bottom here, and ooh, there's a lightning port. There's a lightning port right there. So yeah, this is the 4th gen. Moving on to my iPhone collection, it's again I pretty much have 2 of practically every device, almost, except, well, 1 category or 2 categories, a few categories. But yeah, a lot of them, I have 2 of every product, basically. And one of them is the iPhone 5C. I have not taken this thing out of its packaging. Well, okay, I took it out last year, but I haven't taken this thing out in a while. But yeah, this is the unfortunately broken iPhone 5C. I have yet to get it fixed. And yeah, I suppose the display is actually cheap enough that I could actually just buy that and get the proper screwdriver and get it fixed. So yeah, all it really needs is just a new display. Well, display housing, maybe. I can't tell professional because I'm not an expert in this field. But the other smartphone I have is also my iPhone XS Max. Hey, we actually get it on camera this time. But yeah, I love this iPhone. It's still my favorite iPhone, still my dream iPhone, even though I plan on upgrading very, very soon. Still working the details on that. Yeah, this is the iPhone I've been using for 2 years. I love it. It's been my favorite. No complaints with it. And now the last category we're going to move on real quick. Let me check the time on my... Another category we're going to move on real quick is actually my Mac collection, which I have the most of, to my surprise. Anyways, here we go. First Mac I ever got. Yes, I actually asked my sister if I could borrow it real quick. This was my first Mac I ever got. It's a 2011 MacBook Pro 13-inch with a dual-core, terrible, slow i5, along with 4 gigs of memory, 500 gig hard drive. All components in here are original, including the battery. I have no idea how many cycles are on this thing. And it's still running macOS High Sierra, the latest version it can run. And I don't use this thing anymore because, well, I got a new MacBook that most of you guys are all familiar with. So now my sister uses this MacBook. The next Mac I'm actually going to pull out from the ground here because it's kind of big to fit on the table. Oh, jeez. Yeah, this thing's not light by any stretch of the imagination. This is my 2009 iMac with a Core 2 Duo. It used to have 2 gigs of memory, though I upgraded it to 8 gigs of memory. 320 gig hard drive, which is also factory. This thing here has some family history. It was originally my grandmother's iMac, then she gave this to me after it basically just sat on her desk collecting dust, so I made use of it. Did a little bit of modifications to try to get it up to snuff to modern standards. Unfortunately, the GPU in it is, well, basically, it still works. This thing still turns on and functions, but the mouse movement is basically at 30 FPS, or no, not even 30 FPS. It's so terribly slow. The GPU is almost gone on this. Yes, I could replace the logic board and get it fixed, but do you know how hard it is to find those and how much time it takes to actually do that? And plus, then I have to mess with a power supply that's exposed in this thing. Yes, the power supply is exposed. It's just a lot of hassle and a lot of money that I honestly really do not want to spend, considering that, well, it's still not going to perform that great because it's an old computer. It's just something to keep in the collection, but yep, it's an important item nonetheless. And then the last Mac I have is the most recent one I got and the tool I've been using for quite a long time. Wow, this thing feels so light compared to that iMac. Even that 13-inch MacBook, I still don't know how this is lighter than my 13-inch MacBook Pro that I used to have. This is my 16-inch MacBook Pro. You guys are all familiar with this. I've done an unboxing of this like about half a year ago or so. Absolutely love it. I've been editing so many videos on this thing ever since I got it. No complaints with it other than I would really like to have the touch bar back and give me some better I/O selection, because seriously, you had to trade one of these Thunderbolt ports for a port here I can't even use. And then the last Apple product I have to show is, well, my Apple Watch here. My Apple Watch Series 7. Got this a couple months ago, and it's really been showing off how out of shape I truly am. I really need to get myself motivated to actually close my rings, and honestly, my goals aren't even that high, which is already a problem. Yeah, I guess I'm that inactive. Yeah, Apple Watch, help me out with that, please. I got 2 more Apple products that might be kind of important to show off that I just forgot. I got a couple AirTags. I got an AirTag here on my keys, because I am constantly losing those things. And then I got one more AirTag here in my wallet, because again, that is another thing I am constantly losing. Yep, AirTag here, buried in my wallet. And I'm planning on getting a couple more Apple products. Like, there's one important Apple product I should be getting soon. You know, technically 2, and there'll be an explanation as to why 2. But yeah, I guess that's my Apple collection. So yeah, it's not exactly grown within the past year or so, because I mean, I got a few new products like that iPad 4, the MacBook Pro, obviously, my Apple Watch, a couple significant items, but well, not necessarily that significant nonetheless. But there's a couple things that I've been realizing that kind of been driving me a little nuts as of my collection. And yes, it is something that I do want to grow. It's something that some viewers have been asking me, do you ever plan on expanding it even more? Well, obviously, yeah, I do, because I mean, well, I've increased the number by like Like, how many new Apple products? Let me see. We've got the MacBook, the Magic Mouse, my Apple Watch, the iPad 4, that's 4 items, black lightning cable. So yeah, we've increased by like 5 Apple products within the coming year. So hey, that's not necessarily terrible, but it's not exactly at a fast rate either. So the reason why my Apple collection has not been growing so fast is because I'm trying to get the newest, the latest, the greatest stuff. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case with the iPhone because oh, yeah. You can go watch that video to find out. And so because of that, it's really hard to do that because we all know how much Apple products cost. They cost way too much. Like, for example, I'm trying to get a new iPad right now, and the only iPad that is basically fitting all of my needs, yeah, it costs over $1,000. So how the heck am I supposed to pay for that when I got other finances to worry about, like my car, for example? Hey, you can go check that out on the Random Alpha Drive if you don't mind. It's been hard to save up for these products. However, I've actually been stirring up a little idea in my head. I've noticed that my repair content, like for example, fixing the wireless module in my iMac, that's a very popular video. In fact, to my surprise, it's the most popular video on this YouTube channel. And then if I take a look at some other videos, like for example, my memory upgrade, that was also a popular video that I made. Part of me is stirring some ideas in my head and am possibly thinking, you know what? There's a lot of Apple products out there, like on eBay, for example, that happen to be broken. So what if, big what if, I can purchase those MacBooks and try to fix them up, for example. Kind of like Luke Miani. He does a great job with this. However, with his budgets, he's able to buy like whole lots of MacBooks and get them all fixed up. I can't buy whole lots, but who knows? Maybe I can buy like a couple MacBooks or so and get them fixed up. Hey, maybe not just MacBooks. Maybe I can find a few iMacs that I gotta be careful on safety because in iMacs, the power supplies are exposed. But hey, maybe I could find some of these old computers and try to get them fixed up to snuff, because I've discovered that, yeah, whenever it comes to me messing around with the insides, apparently those are very popular and hey, they can kind of jumpstart my channel. That and, well, old devices, they're getting cheaper and cheaper as they age. Ever since the Apple Silicon transition started, Intel Mac's value have just been plummeting. Like, I don't even know if I'd be able to sell that 2011 MacBook Pro. Thank goodness that I found someone who's interested in it just for the CD drive, but that person happens to be my sister and still technically under my ownership, which is why I was able to feature it in this video. I have thought about doing stuff like that, but then again, there's other important expenses that I have to cover too, so pretty much I've been leaving the collection to grow and expand as I realize, hey, I actually need to use these things for my job. Now, some of the devices like the iPads, they don't really work in my workflow because, I mean, the original iPad doesn't work, obviously. And then the iPad 4, it's too old to basically run anything useful, like YouTube doesn't even open on it anymore. So I've basically been buying devices as my need for them has increased. Like, I bought the 16-inch MacBook Pro because I needed a new Mac. I prioritized that thing over all other Apple devices because I needed a new editing machine. No joke. My camera was good, but my editor sucked, and I really needed something to improve that. So as long as a product becomes heavy on my I need this list, then yeah, I'm probably going to buy it. But that might explain why the Apple collection hasn't grown, and I just wanted to make this quick clip to explain why it's not exactly as large as some other creators and such. And it's just because, well, these things are expensive, and I got other things in life that require money and I need to prioritize. So yeah, there's that. All right, thank you for watching. Do me a favor and interact with the stuff below. My name is DeWolf, Random Alpha, signing out.